Welcome to Good Work Now. I'm Dr. Brian Moffitt, your host. Good Work Now is the only show for creating and finding good work. Let me start by asking you a few questions. How would you describe your workplace? Is it creative, dynamic, energizing? Or is it negative, oppressive, demoralizing? What we're talking about today is spirit in the workplace. Organizations around the world are beginning to recognize that increased spirit among the employees leads to employee satisfaction, happiness, and creativity. On the other hand, oppressed organizations lead to demoralizing workplaces and a decrease in profitability and productivity. When people are in touch with their spirit and they are encouraged to express it, the workplace flourishes. You see increases in creativity, innovation, teamwork, morale. On the other hand, organizations that don't promote employees getting in touch with their spirit or expressing it, you see the opposite. You see increases in power battles, turf battles, conflict, and so forth. So it's no wonder that organizations are putting more spirit to work, if you will. Today, I'm very pleased to have with me two of my favorite colleagues in the whole world, Gail Mancardi and Steve Spar. Gail Mancardi is an organization development consultant working with leaders wanting to learn the art of reflective leadership, strategic thinking and planning, and team development. Also joining me today is Steve Spar. Steve is a leadership consultant who specializes in leadership development and helping managers make their workplace more productive. They have both been involved in doing this kind of work, dare I say, for more than 20 years. And so it's a pleasure to have you both on the show. Thank you very much for being here today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
And let's begin by talking about what is spirit. And Gail, let me pose that question to you. What is spirit?
Well, let's look at what isn't spirit.
Okay.
There is a difference between spirit and religion. And spirit is a connection to your internal energy. It's an internal experience.
Okay.
And so it's really not about bringing religion into the workplace. You may do that in your own way. It's about bringing spirit, your own internal experience, to the workplace.
Great start. Steve, what do you think? What are your thoughts about what spirit is?
Religion is oftentimes a support that helps people have that internal experience. I mean, everybody has moments when they feel more connected to things.
Okay, so religion could inspire spirit for some individuals.
Yes, absolutely.
Or inform their spirit.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
But I think for here we are talking about, when you talk about spirit in the workplace, I think we're talking about that deep place of meaning that people have. It's not just like spirit, like team spirit, like rah-rah, which is important. There's an area of team building in workplace which is important. But what we're talking about here is when you tap into your deepest values, the things that are the most meaningful to you, the things that you're passionate about. That's the type of spirit we're talking about.
Okay. And so I sense that human energy is an important component of spirit. What are your thoughts about human energy and its connection to spirit?
Well, it's an indicator. When you are connected to your personal spiritual experience or spirit, there is a certain type of energy that you feel. Right. And you bring that energy with you to the workplace. Great. And that is part of the importance of understanding spirit in the workplace. You are bringing your spirit regardless. Okay. So let's be a little more conscious about that. Okay. Let's cultivate that.
So being in touch with your own personal energy and what that means.
Yes, okay. And it shows up, as Steve said, in a deeper experience. It can show up as a feeling of connection to something bigger than yourself. And that's really what we're looking for here. Okay.
Yeah. When you talk about energy, there's a breakthrough sometimes. If you're in a group, if you're at work, say, you could be in a meeting, and the energy could be negative or frozen, and everyone in the room would know it. And it might be something they know about. There's an issue that's not being talked about, or they may not be sure about the reason.
The white elephant.
Yeah, yeah,
right,
exactly.
Right.
That would be if they knew about it.
Right.
I mean, it could be nobody's talking about this issue, right? But sometimes people are just having a constrained feeling, and they don't know what the elephant is. But then if something happens and shifts, people then feel a different energy. Or if they're in a different meeting or a different group of people where everything's clicking on all cylinders and they just feel more expanded, that's the sort of energy that I think Gail's talking about.
Exactly. Steve, I know you've done some research recently about employee engagement. Can you speak a little bit about how spirit relates to employee engagement?
There's probably in the last 5 or 10 years, many large firms are doing a lot of research into what are the things that are really affecting productivity right now. And they're using this term employee engagement. And what it means is what does it cause, what can employers do to cause or help foster their employees to care more about their workplace. So they're coming up with some of the major themes that people have seen for a long time, but they're now putting them into this term of engagement. And it's things like, do people have a sense of direction of the company? Do people have a sense of being able to use their skills every day, things that they're good at? Do people have a sense of community in their whole workplace, where they feel like other people that are with them are being able to work together to accomplish something they couldn't accomplish alone? Some of that is just social, wanting to be in a good social community at work, but part of it is really wanting to be part of this higher, nobler cause. Well, what's interesting to me, when you take a look at those sort of buckets, those sorts of themes, those are things that these studies are now showing very heightened levels of productivity, profitability. If you take surveys and you show this company with this level of employee engagement and this company with this level of employee engagement, these companies are coming out to be more productive and more profitable. But those buckets that I just listed off are the same things that cause people to be in touch with their energy, in touch with their spirit.
So these employee engagement surveys could be a barometer about the level of spirit in the workplace that's being cultivated by organizations.
Yeah.
Could be a signal that maybe we need to look at our spirit, or maybe our spirit's pretty healthy.
Yeah, and I'd like to say one more thing about that. The employee engagement studies don't talk about it in terms of spirit. We're making this parallel here and exploring it. But they talk about it in ways that wouldn't have to be about spirit. And I think it just brings up an important point that spirit is a very personal matter, and your spirituality, how you relate to spirit and spiritual matters, is very personal. So I think I look at spirit in the workplace as an availability, something that would be accessible to people if they want to see themselves that way at work, but not something that a company would come in and say, okay, we're going to do this spirit
Legislating
thing.
it.
Right. It's too personal.
That will be spiritual.
Right. No. It's more of it's a voluntary experience. And having a workplace that offers it, the availability of that. On the other hand, if your workplace doesn't, it doesn't mean that you can't connect with that energy in yourself. You have every opportunity to do that in your own silent way and connect with the spirit that brings you meaning and joy every day you come to work.
We are running out of time, but I want to thank you both very much for being here on the show. Great ideas about spirit in the workplace, what it is, why it's important, and how to cultivate it. I'd like to share Steve and Gail's contact information. Gail Mancardi can be reached at gailmco@earthlink.net, and her phone number is 916-457-4852. And Steve Spar has a website. It's www.stevespar.com, and his phone number is 916-739-8057. Please feel free to email me at brianmoffett@comcast.net. Until next time, keep up the good work. Thanks for watching.